OpenAI recently launched a new feature called ChatGPT Health. If you're someone who uses Apple Health or tracks your health using Apple Watch or other fitness trackers, this is going to be an incredibly useful new feature. So today I'm going to show you exactly what it is, who can access it, how to set it up, and what advantages it offers. I'll also connect it to Apple Health and test whether it can actually give me useful insights from my own health data. You may already ask ChatGPT in its regular chat about many health-related questions like, is this food healthy? What exercises can I do to lose weight? How much water to drink, etc. But these are generic questions with generic answers, not specific to you. What if ChatGPT knows about your holistic health and then recommend good ways to lose weight or food recommendations specific to your health? That's exactly the new ChatGPT Health feature. If you're wearing a fitness tracker or a wearable, or you have a health report that you have uploaded, your daily food intake, all this data is automatically known to ChatGPT Health, and then any questions or recommendations it will make will be holistically based on all your health information and tailored only to you. The one place which has all of this information is the Apple Health app. Whether I use an Apple Watch or Fitbit Air or Oura Ring, whether I log food through FitnessPal app or I log my workouts in Bevel app, everything is then recorded into Apple Health app. It contains almost everything like my sleep, my diet, my activity, my heart rate, which is exactly what ChatGPT will access to make you a tailored information. So we can simply connect Apple Health and ChatGPT, and anything you ask ChatGPT Health will be based on the information in Apple Health. ChatGPT Health is currently available to users aged 18 and above in the United States across free, Go, Plus and Pro plans. It works on the web and iOS, but connecting Apple Health requires an iPhone. The feature is rolling out gradually, so you may not see it in your account immediately. To access ChatGPT Health, open ChatGPT on your iPhone or on the web and select Health from the sidebar or from the More menu. Tap Continue, choose Connect Health, and then ChatGPT will guide you through the setup. You can connect Apple Health or supported medical records or both. To connect Apple Health, you will need to use ChatGPT app on your iPhone, and then once you connect it on your iPhone, then you can access it on the web too. You can choose exactly which information you want to share, such as your activity, sleep, heart rate, and other health data. For this test, I'm going to turn on all the available categories. You can also decide how much historical data you want to share. I'm selecting my full available history, so ChatGPT has more information to work with. During setup, you can also add details such as existing health conditions, medications, and relevant family medical history. Of course, you only need to enter information that you're comfortable sharing. Once everything is connected, it may take a few minutes for the data to sink in. After that, you will see this neat dashboard with 4 main tabs: Home, Chats, Records, and Accounts. The Home tab gives you an overview of your connected data, including exercise, sleep, heart rate, HRV, respiratory rate, resting heart rate, blood oxygen, body measurements, and even headphone audio exposure. The Chats tab is where all your health-related conversations will appear, and this is also where you can start asking ChatGPT questions about your data. Under Records, you can upload medical documents or view connected records. Finally, the Accounts tab shows Apple Health and any other supported health accounts that you have connected. And that's it. ChatGPT Health is now set up and ready to use. Now, of course, you can start a new chat and ask questions like, how did I sleep yesterday? How was my resting heart rate, etc. You can even ask it to plot graphs and show the data in a very neat way, like a graph showing my weight trend along with my activity trend for the past 6 months. Clearly, my weight has gone up when my activity was low. But here's a more interesting way to use ChatGPT Health. Instead of simply asking whether one reading is normal, I can ask it to investigate when that reading actually changed. For example, I can ask ChatGPT to look through the past year of my data, identify when my resting heart rate started becoming higher than my usual baseline, and then compare that period with changes in my sleep, HRV, exercise, activity, and other available measurements. This is useful because Apple Health app shows all these metrics separately. I may notice that my heart rate is higher, but I may not realize that it started during the same period when my sleep became irregular or my activity level changed. ChatGPT can bring those separate pieces together and create a timeline of what changed before and what after that date. It cannot tell me the medical cause or diagnose anything, but it can help me notice patterns I may have completely missed. I can even ask it to turn those findings into a short summary and a list of useful questions to take to my doctor. Here's a completely different use case. Before a doctor's appointment, we usually have health information scattered across multiple places like Apple Health, lab reports, medication lists, and previous medical records. And then when the doctor asks what has changed, it can be very difficult to remember everything clearly. So I can upload my latest lab reports or medical record and ask ChatGPT Health to combine it with my Apple Health data. Then I can ask it to create a short appointment summary covering any important changes in my sleep, activity, heart rate, weight, medications, and results. I can ask it to prepare a list of questions that I may want to discuss with my doctor. It is not diagnosing me or replacing the doctor, but it can help me arrive at the appointment more organized and make better use of the limited time I have with them. Here's another interesting test. Instead of asking ChatGPT whether my HRV or resting heart rate is good, I can ask it to find the days when my body appeared to be best recovered and then work backward to see what I did differently before those days. For example, I can ask, look at the days when my HRV was highest and my resting heart rate was lowest. What patterns do you notice in my sleep, exercise, and activity during the previous 24 to 48 hours? ChatGPT may notice that my recovery is usually better when I sleep before a certain time, get a particular amount of sleep, or avoid intense exercise the previous day. This is much more useful than following generic health recommendations because it is based on how my own body has responded over time. It may not prove that one habit has caused improvement, but it can reveal a personal pattern that would be very difficult to notice by checking each graph separately in Apple Health. Before connecting Apple Health or medical records, privacy is an important concern. OpenAI says that information used inside ChatGPT Health is not used to train its foundation models or for advertising. Your health data and conversations are also encrypted. You stay in control of access. ChatGPT can ask for permissions before using your connected health information, and you can change these settings or disconnect Apple Health anytime. If you disconnect an account, OpenAI says that the synced data will be deleted within 30 days. However, the health information already included in the previous chats will remain until you delete those conversations. So the controls are useful, but you should still connect only the information that you are comfortable sharing. The biggest advantage of ChatGPT Health is that it brings your health data into one place and lets you ask questions in normal language. Instead of trying to understand separate graphs and numbers, you can get clearer explanations, notice patterns, and prepare better questions for your doctor. And this feature is especially useful for people who already track and log a lot of information into Apple Health, like using an Apple Watch or fitness tracker. The limitations is that the answers are only as reliable as the data available, and it can still misunderstand patterns or miss important medical context. So it should be used as a tool to understand your information, not to diagnose a condition or replace professional medical advice. I'm really loving the ChatGPT Health feature. It's making my personal health data much easier to understand, and I'm curious to see how useful it becomes over time. Catch you in the next one. This is Anjana. Bye-bye.